It feels as if the biggest hustle is selling information. Is it just me? Or is every single person trying to sell us some info that they may or really may not be experts on? Is it just me? And there's always this wave of something that when you look back through time and history, you'll say, oh yeah, everybody was selling that. Oh, and everybody was selling that. And everybody was selling this. Right now, it feels like that hustle is information. It's information. Now, let me tell you how I feel about that. Because I do believe there is a place where you should invest in quality information. I believe you should find yourself a reliable Oh my goodness. Okay. So I recorded that in 2021. Can you believe it? And here we are. So welcome to HouJack DMS. I'm going to call this live learning because I finally figured out a name for it. I didn't have a name for it. I just go live because Gwendolyn just goes live. So welcome to everyone who is tuning in. Let's see, we are streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and we are now streaming to LinkedIn. Thank you all for who are supporting this beautiful idea of bringing information to entrepreneurs out there, whether that's yourself or someone you know, because we understand that entrepreneurship is a career choice and that requires more coaching, more information, more growing, more learning, and we are here for the people. So welcome. I am Gwendolyn R. Houston Jack. People call me G. And it just so happens that Gwendolyn is a career coach. What? Yes. So before we get into that, because I want to get into that, let us know where you're watching from, either live or in the replay. Put in the comments, let us know. And I also want to know this. Let me just go ahead and get into it because Gwendolyn loves to kick up some dust. I don't have anything else to do but to kick up some dust. And we're talking about coaching. We're talking about coaching. As I said before, that clip, I recorded it in 2021 because I could not get over the amount of ads, posts, videos, number of people who all of a sudden, and I say all of a sudden because a lot of times things are happening, but until it's on your radar, you don't even really recognize it. But it felt as if the biggest hustle was, let me correct that. The biggest hustle is the selling of information. The selling of information. The hustling of information. I don't care how you say it. It is what it is. So real quick, shout out to Sean Anthony. Thank you for tuning in, sir. We are happy to have you here. We would love to get your ideas, your thoughts about coaching. If there is anyone else who is a coach, business coach, fitness coach, health coach, career coach, I want to hear from you as well. Me, I live in the world of self-accountability. I have no problem looking at any industry that I participate in and calling out what's working well and what is just a little shysty. I'm okay with that. Shout out to Erica. Hello, tuning in from Austin, Texas. She's right up the street, which I think is something like, 2.5, 3, 4 hours. But for us Texans, that's right up the street. So hello to you, Erica. So I want to start off with, again, if you want to share, you don't have to leave names. It's okay. This is a safe space. But have you ever experienced a poor experience with coaching? Like maybe you paid for something, didn't quite get it. Or as I mentioned before, perhaps you got into a class and got most of it, and then you realize this person doesn't know half of what you know. And hear me clearly. I am okay with people not knowing everything. No one knows everything. Like that doesn't exist, right? And as a person who is an educator, I perfectly fine learning from everyone, young, old, indifferent. It doesn't matter. There's always something that I could take in, right? That I could probably add to my arsenal or perhaps give me a different perspective on how I look at something. So I am perfectly fine with that. What gets me though is when I'm coming to a place and I'm trying to think of, I want to grow my knowledge or fill in some holes, or better yet, I want to level up. So if I'm coming to a place and the idea is to level up, and then I recognize that you and I are on the same level, yeah. So let me give you some information because obviously I had to check it because I really want to know. And what's funny, not haha, but what's interesting is that there's not really a lot of organizations or policing when it comes to coaching. I happen to be a photographer, and even there, everybody and their mama can be a photographer. So I don't know why we keep getting into industries or like what can I tell you? But we'll figure it out. Okay, so let's do this. Hey, before we get into it, shout out to Gary. Hello, Gary. Thank you for tuning in. We're talking about coaching, and I want to share really quick. According to Zippia, there are over 11,502 career coaches. So I put in career coaching, but there's business coaches, fitness coaches. They're all out there speaking all of it. And that's currently in the US. So I didn't even look at worldwide. 71% of those career coaches are women. About 30% are men. The average age is like 41. So at least, if we're going to go assume the rights of all parties, at least these are people who have had some sort of life experience. Not that you have to be a certain age to be a coach. So hear me clearly. But for some of us, I want somebody with some life experience. So really quick, special shout out to my mama, who is typically in the crowd, but rarely shares anything. So shout out to my mother for leaving a comment. Woohoo! Shout out to mama, right? If your family's there for you, man, we are winners, right? Because you know how that goes. And again, shout out to Tyson. Welcome. Good afternoon to you, sir. We're talking about coaching today. And the question that we had, and that will be throughout, is if you've ever paid for coaching and you've had a poor experience, you feel like sharing, by all means, share. You don't have to share. All right. You don't have to put names out, whatever. This is a safe space. So just know it's a safe space. So we're not going to judge anything. But again, I believe that having a little bit of life experience, and a little bit is whatever it is, because a lot of us can be young and have lived and experienced some things. And then you can also be older in number and have experienced nothing. So it's not always a determining factor, but So Erica says, you don't have to have a certain age or be a certain age, but you need to have a certain level of expertise. Exactly, right? Are you an expert in that field? Now, here is another little fun fact. The most common ethnicity of career coaches is white. That is 67%, Hispanic or Latino at 14%, and then Black or African American at 11%. And then unknown is like 3.8%, right? So we got some numbers down. All right. I'm done with the numbers. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to do it because I will tell you that as a person who is a coach, coaches have coaches. The idea of growing, in my opinion, and I'm coming from a true educator standpoint. Yes, I have done my time I've done my time as an adult educator. Technically, I am still an adjunct professor for SUNY. So I get it. Education mindset, I am here. So a coach has a coach. can't get myself there. I gotta have people help me to get there. But I also recognize that information has become the biggest hustle. I can't even tell you where it came from, where it started. I know for myself, I just recognized it like in 2021. I recognized it. It just felt like on every single corner, somebody somewhere was selling something. You couldn't even talk to someone without you having to pay them for their time, as if you telling me that I can get a free EIN from the IRS really cost me $50. Like, really? Now, I know it's free. I know a good chunk of info is free. I get that. And I come from a place of community where if I know something and I can help you, I'm going to help you, right? So me telling you that you should get an EIN or that filing for an LLC in Texas is $300, and you don't even have to have a lot because it's Texas. I mean, shout out for them and their small business mindset, but they make it a tad bit too easy. That's nothing, right? Me telling you about the SBA and the SCORE mentor program, if you can afford a private coach, that does not require expertise. Yeah, maybe people should learn to search the web for something other than recipes for a good margarita, dirty martini, I don't know. But me helping you in that regard is not that big a deal, right? That's not that big a deal. Not for you can book a consultation and then for $45 in 15 minutes, I will tell you that you should do blah, blah, blah in here, buy my program. Like, we don't need to do that. So somewhere along the line, it just felt like everybody somewhere was selling information and everybody's a coach, right? Erica says, do you think since Black is low, they market on use me because I'm Black? Oh, so not enough of us in the market that we believe that, for those of us who proudly support Black owned businesses, they take advantage of it and use me because of my NAS. Oh, Erica. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let me just say this real quick. What I love about Erica is that she will go places like me where we like to kick up dust and just talk about what people don't want to talk about. I appreciate that. Do I believe that people prey on certain ethnicities and demographics? I do believe that. I most certainly do. We have seen it in a number of places. We see it in the financial institution. We see that, right? Payday loans. And I don't know what this new wave of Dave and Mike and everybody else who's like giving you a few dollars for what, I don't know. I haven't investigated, but it is a question mark up there. So we do know that people will prey on those who want to and aspire to get to a certain level. They prey on those. And unfortunately, they are taken advantage of a couple of times. Golly, where do we start? Let me back. So as I was chatting earlier with Erica, because we talk about stuff, and I'm like, what? I'm going to talk about it. Let's take it to the people. Let's talk about it. Going through Facebook, there's a lot of advertisements about coaching, creating a course, being a coach. Here's my packet to create a coaching program. And I was looking at one today. I want to say it had 500 comments. The very first one saying, everybody and their mama is now a coach. I kid you not. I should have screenshotted it. I should have. That was one. And there was this whole packet for I think $37 that you could launch your coaching program in 30 days or less. There was someone else who was saying, here's a course on how to create courses to make $20,000 in a matter of weeks. There was another one that said, hold up, wait a minute. Everybody's now doing this. At this point, and I mean this truly, at this point, if you are attending any kinds of free webinar, you should know That is code word for give me your info so I can sell to you. Like, we all know that, right? If you know that if you're going to a free webinar and someone's going to sell you something, put a thumbs up or 100 in the comments, because surely at this point, we all know that. Surely. I know it. I'm at a place where when I attend a webinar, I would much rather you just tell me what the free offer is, right? Like, give me my info and then tell me how much it costs to hire you if it's good info. Because the whole idea is to give you an almost bouche, right? A little appetizer to get you into the restaurant. And then I'm going to hit you with and here's the entree, but the entree costs blah, 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 right? Like, tell me that, right? Like, up front. All right, Erica says, how many people book these coaches based on skills versus the lifestyle they portray? You know what? It just got really chilly in my room. The shade of it all. Okay, side note. Here's where I struggle. And I mean this like legitly. Here's where I struggle. As a person who is an educator, hands down, when I talk to people, my consultation is to find out if we are meant to work together. Because truly, I've had amazing teachers, amazing coaches, mentors, amazing. But if the energy and the personality isn't there, it's not going to work out. And we know as people of age, there were teachers who spoke to our soul. And then there were others we were like, when am I getting out of this class? Because this is boring and they're awful, right? Like, we know that. So when I meet people who in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking we should work together, I am now jumping the hoops and having to clear out the baggage and the trauma of working with someone who said they were a coach, but stole their money, beat them down, abuse them emotionally, right? Did not create a safe space for education and learning and growing. It's a hard one. It is a hard one here. I know that I have to sell you on why you should hire me. I get that. But I also know that, what was and should have always been a true place of education and growing has now become this ugly business of how can I sell you something, this digital course to fill in the gaps for whatever dollars, and how can I pretend to have expertise and take your money and then leave you high and dry? How can I tell you, and I cannot think of her name, so forgive me, but look it up. There was some chick, she was an influencer. I want to say she's in Texas. I could be wrong, but she was this influencer selling this sort of health something, coaching something. And people were being impacted because now we're talking health. Now you're coming from my insides, right? Lawsuit was filed. She is now, and I'm sorry, I'll have to do one on religion later, but she is now a born again Christian. And is it not in the Christian way to be forgiven for your sins? And then all that, what you did that was wrong and shady and shicey, we just gonna forget all about that. I can forgive you, yes, but we're not going to overlook the fact that you stole money from people and hurt them. Why does that sound familiar? What's her name? Holmes, who has a new home in Texas. Okay. Yes, free webinars are the new timeshare gigs. Okay, yes. I have done my fair share of a timeshare presentation for a steak dinner. I know you guys have done it too. And we continue to do it. We continue to do this because we are looking at this place of, I want to level up. Now, if you are a person, and hear me when I say there is a population that gets preyed on a consistent basis, God bless it. We got to figure out a way to protect our loved ones. But there is a segment of the U.S. across the board of all ethnicities who are underemployed, who are just a tiptoe either over poverty or they're in it. and they want to find a way to get out. And the way to get out is to find ways to bring money in. So they have been preyed upon when it comes to a work from home program where you give me money and I'll send you stuff and you mail this out, and right? Or it is a coaching program or a course program where if you give me $40, $50, $100, whatever, you can make $20,000 overnight. You can wake up and there's money sitting in the bank. $20, $40, $50 for someone who is just barely making it. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. We know where the intention is. We know the idea is to be better, is to grow, is to get out of this current situation. We know that. And the people who are preying on them, they know that too. They don't have to deliver. They don't have to. Now, I'm going to go into the industry really quick. I'm going to go there. I'm going to come for us really quick. As Sean Anthony says, sometimes people feel like they can coach because they know more than someone who's just starting. And that doesn't make them a real expert, but they can sound like one. Ooh! You know, if you know how to talk to people, if you're charismatic, if you have a well-crafted story on social media, and we do know, right, that our stories on social media are well-crafted. Like, we do know that, right? Like everybody knows that. I know for a fact that I have shared my real deal during the pandemic when I had a kitchen full of dirty dishes because we had like jerk chicken and peas. I mean, sister put it down. Rum punch, I put it down, right? I was like, we're not cleaning tonight. Snap this shot, put it out there. I love how my family said, Gwendolyn, you didn't wash your dishes? No, I didn't wash some dishes. They get washed when they get washed. We know that we can craft our story to make it look as if we're doing amazing. Everything is on the up and up. Everything is shining and bright. We know that. It's a well-crafted story. So yes, Sean Anthony, I love that. There are people who feel like, well, I've been doing it for 2 years. This is nothing. I can sell extremely well. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. So why wouldn't you hire me as a coach? I mean, you're just getting started. You don't even have a business entity formed, right? You're still working on auto on your camera. Really? Seriously? Is that what we do? Can we go to the industry now? I'm going to go there. Gary says it comes down to heart connection and just true human connection. Those are the words of Ramon Ray. You are right about that. And he also says, get rich quick schemes or pyramid schemes. No easy way to level up, but to grind, connect, and elevate. Let me go back to that one because you're right. Okay, so as a coach, I have a coach. And I would be a liar if I told you that I'm not still looking for another coach for the speaking parts, right? I do believe in exhausting the free, as I told my husband yesterday when he says, I want to buy these books. I want to buy this program. And I was like, for what? And why? Well, I want to learn about business. I want to do this. I want to do that. Okay, SBA, SCORE, free mentors for women, men, veterans, free resources across the board, how to make a business plan, how to choose this. If you cannot afford a one-on-one person at this moment, please, before you jump into that boat, use what is available to you. Please, just because things out there are free. Do you have to look for it? Yes. But if you don't know where to look for it, get you some real people, a real community that will support you and help you get there. That does not mean call Sean Anthony every other day and say, Sean Anthony, can you help me do this, and this? And now you're taking Sean Anthony's time. And so now in that regard, Sean Anthony could in good conscience say, hey, for XYZ dollars, I will teach you some stuff, right? Like, there's a fine line between taking a lot. There is that fine line. I have a fine line. I will help you do whatever. If we have to get into some one-on-one things, we need to talk about something else, because now my time is in something else. So industry, I know coaching, right? I know coaching, I know photography. And I got to tell you, so we were at the PPA imaging in January in Nashville, and the closing keynote speaker, and I'm perfectly fine with sharing this because I said it in my feedback to PPA. This beautiful woman came on stage, and her spirit was beautiful. I'm not, she starts talking about like where she was and where she came from and what happened, and financial infidelity and da 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 da. Now, I won't lie. Somewhere in there, I'd already tuned out because like her story was kind of like, but you're like in Hollywood and married like an actor who's not like top notch, but still an actor, and you had an advertising agency, so you weren't really at the bottom. You were like here, not like here. So your bootstraps are whatever. But somewhere in there, I could have sworn she talked about her mastermind class for like $50,000. Yeah. Okay, so industry. There's a place where we feel as if, I'm saying we in general, I got a little bit of info, I'm feeling really good, the people I've helped are pumping me up, I'm feeling like I'm like top notch, whatever, top shelf, as they say, and so I am now going to take this and put it out to the people. I like it. Erica says, what about people who create a product to market, to try and get companies to sponsor them to sell their stuff? Are they coaches or just influencers? All right. So that ties into that, right? Because you've done enough to get the attention of sponsors. Now, I have never wanted to be a sponsor. I'm going to put it out in the universe because I keep putting it out there. Gwendolyn, I'm going for the public access TV vibes. I want a TV show. That's what I want. Until then, I'm going to rock it on YouTube and everything else until then, right? Maybe get like a radio show. Oh my God. I'm not really concerned about product, right? But I do know, and all of us know people who have used the product just to get the attention of someone to sponsor us. I like how I put do not disturb and it still came through. Okay, that's great. That could have been an emergency call, so apologies. I do know that people do things for the sponsorship, so they do just enough to get the attention so that they can get these corporate sponsors, as they say, right? These corporate sponsors. Do I call them coaches? It could be 50-50, right? What if, and I'm going to throw it back to you, Erica, if you want to reply back. What if they have some knowledge, but they're teetering on the influencer side, and so now they're rocking both worlds? So maybe they have more than the other. Would I call them a coach? If they have a base or background in education, or if they have done the work to be a coach, technically with their credentials, they could be, well, they are defined as a coach. But now they have jumped into a different layer, and we'll say social media, whatever, right? Or personal brand, the different level of personal branding, to where they are now becoming a lifestyle. And so they're moving into an influencer role. I like it. Give me your thoughts on that, because I like where you're going with it. That's a hard one. That's a real hard one. As my hey, shout out to Black Eighth Element. I like how it's so hard to say. JB, as I like to say, anything worth finding is worth searching for. Ooh, word. Sean Anthony says, please don't remind me, because I know Sean Anthony is part of a community that does give quite often. He does share, and there's a moment, there's a level of when does it become too much, right? Like, when should you say, okay, at this point, I think you might want to like pay me for some of this. Erica says, I didn't have a TV show on my phone, so I couldn't sit there. Public access TV was perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. It was a great place for people who are aspirational to get out there and put their face to the world. So that is where Gwendolyn is going. But what do you think all these YouTube shows and podcasts are? That's public access TV in a new era. That's all that is. That's all that is. Okay, so Gary goes back to it, says, depends on, are they a subject matter expert? Right? And I keep going back there. I keep going back to that because that does make a difference. There are people, and we know them. As a photographer, I know quite a few. There are people who have done their due diligence. They have written books. They have been published. They have done the work in the industry. They've done all of it. And now they're moving to a place of, I have enough background info. I have enough that I can take that and now give it to someone else without the idea of making a product to be picked up for sponsorship, right? Like, that is there. So Erica says to Gary, depends on if they still deliver the service or are they promising? Can we go back there? Let's do it. So the ugly part of coaching that I'm stuck with is that you become this coach who does a great deal. Now, there is a way, I believe, to sell a product, depending on what you're selling. There is a way to do it. Again, we know that a free webinar is code word for come to my timeshare presentation. I will feed you something, i.e. the free info that's really, really great. And then I'm going to pitch something to you. We know that. That's known. We're not worried about it. The question now becomes, now that you got me, what happens when you don't deliver? What happens there? Because that is what I have found. And I haven't had too many not great coaching experiences. I will go ahead and tell you that. When I have paid for something like one-on-one work, I have had amazing experiences. So if you are a photographer and you want to get into more lighting, John Gress, hands down, the truth. All right. You're going to get your money's worth. And even afterwards, you'll get your money's worth. Right. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that. There are people that when we're working with them, we can see that they have, as others have mentioned, the heart and the connection and the want to really make you better. And I will tell you, as I am going through Facebook and Instagram, because we all know remarketing, once you click on something or give it even 5 seconds of time, you are now part of someone's like email list and they're going to, the cookies. We know that. I keep seeing all of these people who are just putting something out. And just like Gary mentioned, that get rich quick, it doesn't come overnight. But again, there is a set of people who want to level up. And the idea is I can have a Shopify and do drop ship and level up. I should open up my inbox and see 100 orders. I told Gary the other day, I'm going to write a book. I don't know what this book will be about. And I have a very long aspirations list. Writing a book is on there. Can't tell you what's going to talk about, but it's on the book. It's on the list. Because at this point, I feel like everybody's also writing a book. Am I crazy? If I am crazy, you can put a yes in the comments. And I admit, I'm a tad off sometimes. So I will own my nuttiness. But it feels like beyond being a coach, everybody is writing a book. And it's all on Amazon. There's a reason behind that, I'm sure. But okay, right? So I haven't had too many. Have I had experiences that when I look back, I would have done something differently? I have had that, yes. And I'm a person who, you want to do whatever you want to do. Trust me, the person that I am hiring to be my coach also has a coach, and he or she or they are also aspiring to go to a different level. of life, income, prestige, whatever, you name it. We're all aspiring to get up on this, invisible ladder. Oh, I love the honesty. I love it. But what bothers me, and I'm gonna talk I'm gonna talk a little bit here from a food perspective. What bothers me is you are the head chef. You have now stepped out the kitchen to leave your sous chefs and your line chefs and everybody else to run the kitchen. And now the dinner is burning. That's a problem. That doesn't work for me, right? So that part I get agitated because as a person who spends her money, I want all of my dollar, every single cent. I want all of it. So if you're not meeting the expectation, guess what? Gwendolyn is a customer advocate. We are an ambassador. I have no problems coming to you as a customer to say, I'm not getting what I paid for. How do we resolve this? That's real talk. You know how people say as students, you shouldn't talk back to your teacher? Well, that might hold true in elementary school and junior high and high school. When you get to college, trade school, any other kind of educational facility, institution, where you are paying, that's a different dynamic. I have paid you for something. I need to get what I paid for. So if you're not delivering, if you're falling short, this is still customer on this side and provider on that side. The same way that if you went to, I'm thinking of Luby's because of my mama. I'm thinking of Luby's. But if you went to a Luby's and your catfish was cold, you're going to tell them, I have cold catfish, right? So it doesn't change just because it's now education or continuing education or a learning facility. That does not change. It is still customer and server. So we should do that. Now, as this normally goes 30 minutes, and because, coaching, I wouldn't say it's a controversial topic, but what is controversial as consumers is that we are taking notice of how people are scamming us, are being a little shady, being a little shysty, not delivering the product they promise. And because we have outlets to talk about those things beyond the Better Business Bureau, beyond Google Business Profile, beyond Facebook and anything else, we're going to share it. We're going to talk about it. And next week, as I read Erica's comment here, I would like to get in, how do you hire the best coach for you? Because there are things you can do to hire the best coach for you. And one of them, the absolute best, is to chat with previous students. Oh my. I'm not talking about the person who wrote the review that is beautiful and glorious. I'm talking about the person who was in the program and left the program. I want to know why you left, because I need to get what was working well and then what could be better. I need a full story of what you do before I decide to give you my dollars and, more importantly, my time. Right? So yes, I want to level up. I mean, Erica knows that on my aspirations list is a bottle of Louis XIII, which runs for $5,000, because when you get that bottle, you become part of the society. And I don't want to get the itty bitty because it's not special. That's where Gwendolyn is thriving nowadays. Don't ask me why. I don't even drink like that. But, aspirations. So as we wrap this up, Erica says, should they have a realistic refund policy? Oh, if I ask, do you all cover XYZ, and you sign in later find out that they don't? That is definitely on the list of things that I ask about. If I step out, what do I get? I like that. We will pick up that next week about the refund policy. We will definitely pick that up. We've got JD saying, don't be afraid to speak up and hold them accountable. We're all about accountability. You know, if there's anything that a Houston will do, it's about accountability. I'm going to talk about some things. Gary says, yes, that's a good subject to tease. Thank you. Be here next week. Who's the BBB? They don't. I always love how people come in and throw in like their beautiful personality. I absolutely. And Yelp, yeah. So like Yelp, no offense, I don't trust Yelp reviews because half of them are paid for. Just saying. And even now, as I learn, you can buy like Google business profile reviews, and I think LinkedIn followers is so beyond ridiculous. It's just so beyond. You want to be, oh, well, you know, Erica, if you are free next week at 1:00, you most definitely, we can invite you up here to be a guest. I'm telling you, man, I've got to get my stuff together so we can like do the live phone calls and everything. Can you imagine Gwendolyn and live phone calls? Oh my God. Put it out into the universe, people. Put it out to the universe. So let us wrap this up because we are clearly over my normal 30 minutes of time. Is there a place in any industry where it's ugly? Well, yeah. Movies, music, sports. We know it. We know it. We know it. We know it. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people like myself and others in this crowd who are there truly to help others grow and get genuine joy from seeing others grow. I am happy when someone else is winning, right? If I know that I can connect you with somebody, come out to your event, support you any way that I can, Gwendolyn will show up for you and herself as well. Right? There's enough pie out here that everybody can win. So it's not a zero-sum game. I don't have to hold you down to push myself up. It's not even necessary because as I've said a cajillion times, what is meant for me is meant for me. The good Lord got my blessing. It may not be my time and season, but when it is, I will be there. I will be ready and I will receive it with open arms and this beautiful smile. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. Come in next week. We're going to have Erica. I'm going to bring her. Let's do it, Erica. Next week, we're going to talk about how to hire a coach that is best for you. Enjoy your day.